Greetings everyone, welcome back to Top Tier Arcade. My name is Steve. I'm in the apartment where we're currently housing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles LE by Stern. This is going to be part 2 of the Restore series, and it should be a fun one. And as you can see behind me, I have a few mods that I got from various vendors and online that I'm going to be showing you how to install and the end result. So on the list of things to do, there's going to be a few things. So first, let me pick up the camera and just show you. It's more exciting to me. Anyways, we're going to be installing the Technodrome mod, which is lit up by one of the flashers in the back. And I just put my wife's yoga mat down. She thought I was going to be exercising. Wrong! So I used this as just so I don't scratch the glass and to show it nicer. We're going to be installing the Technodrome, which here, it kind of replaces, the plastic replaces kind of just the printed back there. So we're going to install there. This canister goes over one of the flashers. I guess you get to pick which one. I'm not sure yet. This bracket will go on where it's the character select on the right, which I'm going to show you a bit later. And then later, this is beautifully hand done and painted. It's a mod. This is a Pinsider that has that. That should be the easiest one. Normally, I start easy. So my new kind of philosophy on doing restores is start easy, kind of get the momentum, and it's been working for me. Instead of indulging into a more difficult mod, I get frustrated and I leave it and I come back. But this one's a bit different because I want to work from the top down, so which means I'd be installing that, and then that, and at the end that. So like this. And this is Pinmonk gives you a keychain. So those two are from Mezzo Mods. I'll put the links in the description. This is from Pinmonk, and you saw the last video, the fan and others. And this is the Pinsider, which again I will link in the description below. So I'm gonna work on this. By the way, Mezzo Mods does not give you instructions printed, but it's on their website, which I'll put as well. And it's apparently this is a tedious install. I'm not looking forward to it, but it is what it is. So you have to go through it. Again, there is some wiring you have to just, link and whatnot, which is right here. So I'll be back. I'll show you the progress and see how things are going. So I've just followed the instructions on their website, and it's pretty straightforward. This is what it looks like removing the original plastics where the flashers are there, and then the bayonet is there. This is where the light was here. So now really the next step is this LED will be extended with this wire. So I'll show you where it's located and plugged in. So if you ever got this mod, this may help you. Okay, so that's really what it was. You just, here's the cable. You just unattach that, and then this is the extender. And then I'm going to use just a small zip tie to keep it neat in case it hits one of these and the coils. You can see now, see how long that wire is. That's the reasoning. You're just extending the original wire, so then it fits up to the Technodrome. So I'll add the twist tie later once it works. But very simple. Don't worry about it. It's easy. It's literally one plug, and I'll keep going. So what you do now is just put the LED through the Technodrome. All right, so it's going to sit like that. And you can tell there's a little groove here from the cannons of the pizza wagon here. So what you do is you take, see that's the LED. You're going to face it forward. And you see that's the original screw. So it's, again, keep in mind this part you may have to, the wires here, positive and negative, you may have to kind of fold back. So what you do is, you're putting the LED in like this, and it does fit a bit snug. I had it before, but of course. You have to tuck the wires behind. What the hell? Oh, there we go. Okay, so then now it's tucked in. Now what you can see there is the original screw where the housing was. So why don't we do this live? So it's a little tricky getting the original screw in this plastic, especially with this around it, the LED. So what I've done is I'm just hand cranking with the screwdriver, like, because it's more easier this way. So now it's a lot more easier to fill because it was a very, very tight fit. So now I can remove it and I can put it through easier, because right now it was almost impossible to get it through because it's so tight, and it was very, it was banging around. So I just went in and out, and I took the screw out, in and out 3 times, so it made the hole bigger, so it slides in better. And then I'll show you now the end result once I screw this with the LED inside. Yeah, it took 5 minutes. It's working. Yeah, that looks cool. That looks cool. It was actually a pretty easy install. Now, I'm going to play the game. I haven't put the balls in yet, but the mod looks really cool. I'm wondering if I got a flat LED that was red, can I not just put it where the bayonet is there so it adds a little more light? I'll leave it for now. Maybe later on I'll test it, but that was easy. Yeah, so this plastic piece, I guess you just don't use. So I'm going to put that in the coin box. I'm going to reattach that. All right, so that took longer than it should have, like always, but we've learned something. So if you have any issues, that's good. Next, I was going to install the canister, which you just probably replace one of the flashes, but I'm not going to do it yet. I'm going to do the character select first. I'm going to do that, and apparently all it is removing a few screws and then putting on the bracket, because the LE version and the Pro, I think, are a bit different. So let's see what that looks like. So next, like I said, is going to be the Turtle Select, and a little more involved than I thought. Look how beautiful Victor has done this. Pinmonks, look how nice this is. This is better than real products. Beautifully done. Anyway, so that's amazing. I'm going to kudos for him on that. Premium LE only. This is an LE. Okay, so there's 2 different instructions. Out goes the Pro. Honestly, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Shit, what am I into here? All right, so, well, that's interesting. Do not plug or unplug the wiring harness from the cabinet node board with the power on. Never, ever, ever. Okay, so, I mean, instructions. So you unscrew it, you undo that. Power off the machine, remove the, oh, I get it. Okay. And then, oh, shit, there's more. Oh, I see. You just put the spacers so that it doesn't open. Don't ever. Tighten's always a good idea. Okay, well, the instructions are extremely detailed. I'm not going to go through it all. The video will be forever. So I'm going to just follow the instructions, and I'll be back when I have it installed right there. But I have to admit, I didn't know there was that much involved, and that the Pro and Premium is so different. Huh. Anyways, I'll be back. So it's pretty straightforward, but it's actually taken a lot longer than what it looks, because you have to be very careful not to tighten. Ideally, you can just, if you look at that step, I mean, don't follow the instructions, but that's pretty much the way it's going to go. The problem that it gets weird is, because it keeps saying ultra low profile Phillips. I'm like, okay. Well, here's the problem is here, you see right there. So you would put the plastic here on top, and these would screw into the ones that it came off, the new standoffs, and then you can hand crank it. That's easy. The problem is getting it under, and I have kind of smaller hands too, but getting them under here is going to be difficult. I don't know how the hell, I have to make sure that goes under like that, screws into these hexagon standoffs, and then it's done, and it's all plugged in and whatever. It's easy. But yeah, it takes longer. Take your time on this. So I'm going to come back and maybe show you guys how I did this, because it's, yeah, it's a little tedious. There's no way. I actually had to remove this plastic that normally sits there. I had to remove this. It makes no sense. It's impossible. I mean, and I have kind of smaller hands too, and you literally have to feed it underneath and screw it upside down. Am I nuts? There's no really other way I can do it. Now, you just have to do this and just put it in and let it screw, and then that part, and then the plastic goes on that, and then these hex will you just hand tighten them and we're done. Because it's taken a bit longer, I have to get going, so I'll be back later on once it's done, and we'll then get to the other 2 mods, which should be a lot easier. And then, well, that took way longer than it should have. This is probably one of my top 5 difficult mods or restores I had to do since I started. It's not that it's difficult, it's if you don't have a ultra, and it says it in the instructions, if you don't have an ultra low profile screwdriver, you have to take the whole ramp assembly off. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. So anyways, what I ended up doing is, if you ever get this, follow the instructions. You're supposed to get under there and then screw it up so then it sits. Well, that wouldn't turn, and I was dropping, and then I dropped the screws in the play field, and then it took me half an hour to get the screw out, and I'm like, the hell with it. So what I did was I just screwed these in first, and then I screwed these down, and then I just lifted, I know my camera works a little erratic, and then I just lifted this, and then I kind of got in there in an angle, and then I screwed it down. It's in 80%. It's not sitting exactly flush, but you can barely tell. Like that, you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you. It looks cool, but it was tedious. So if you get this, have patience and have the right tools. And I did have, I even used the hand crank with one of the bits, but it wouldn't work. Anyways, it's done. It looks good enough. Better than good enough. It just, again, it's not 100% flush, but honestly 80%. It was passing in high school and good enough. So next, we're installing this, and then in the description I'll have where I bought them, and there's also instructions how to do it. You literally are just replacing you're taking that off the cap of the flasher, and you're just putting it there. That's all you're doing. You take that off, that screw off, that one off. You put it on, use the existing screws, and we're done. And we're done. Took 15, not even. Took like 8 minutes. And I was taking my time. Literally, you just unscrew this, the whole thing, and then it's almost like putting the flasher back, but instead you put that. And if you need help, it's on their website. It's actually very nicely detailed on Meslo Mods. All right, so that's done, coming together. Lastly, I'm going to do this live because it's so easy. What beautiful work, huh? That's art. That's art. Look how nice that is. Line up the slit in the pipe, the yada yada. I have a picture of one on pin side. Oh, it's right there. Oh, I see. So that just goes right there. Okay, let's see. Oh, right there. Right there. Oh, it snaps on. Okay. Yeah, and then you can't lift it. Yeah, so it just goes on like that. Oh, look how nice that looks. Get rid of the paper. That's cool, huh? It looks like the ooze, the pipe. So that's cool. Pipe mod done. We're done. We're done.
Pick a turtle. We have to save the city.
So Mary's just playing here, and you can see, the bracket is now on. Okay, and there is there's the Technodrome right there, the eye, which is dope. And we'll look at the boom, there it is. So instead of the regular flasher dome, there's that. And then obviously there's the pipe mod, which is not interactive, but it looks really cool. Alright. Okay, so now that you've seen the everything light up, I'm going to say my goodbyes. Again, there. Well, there we have it. That was part 2 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Restore series. And it took longer than it should have, but again, it ended up working great. Character select mod was, the bracket was annoying. And it is what it is. It's just the way that it's designed, because the LE version is a bit different. I didn't want to take the ramp off. And I may revisit it, just maybe tighten the screw and snug it up a bit. But honestly, my wife said, you can't see anything. It looks fine. I'm like, we'll see. It doesn't matter. So that's off the list. And beautiful. Okay, so that's good. Next video, I want to get Eddie's new light kit for the speakers. They look way cooler. A little more money, but worth it. I also want to add the yellow flippers, the lit flippers, the yellow. And more importantly is replace the motor with a ultra torque servo motor. This is meant for high-end RC cars, drones and planes and all that. And the guys on Pinside have used this. 3 to 3 people said it's going over a year and it works beautifully. So I can't wait to get to that. Both, I hope it's easy and I hope it works. I'm going to work on that. My buddy gave me the Dracula manuals that I've been waiting for. Chris gave me these. So I'm going to bind them and whatever. So I'm going to do that. But that's a later video. And that's pretty much it. We're getting there. And then I have a couple cool mods coming. But not on the playfield, somewhere else that I don't want to spoil it yet. If you guys had a chance to subscribe, please consider subscribing, giving a thumb up. Any comments you have in the comments below, let me know. In the description, I'm going to have the links to where I bought everything. If you're interested in the mods, like I said, I have no affiliation, but it's great product. It has been a pleasure, and thank you again for checking out Top Tier. Peace.